Hi, this is Elizabeth, one of the co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hello. Happy day 6,495 of quarantine. At least that's what it feels like at this point, right? Welcome and thank you for joining the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast during this crazy pandemic. I am your host, Jenna Burt. I'm a military spouse of 10 years, a mom, and a registered and certified dental assistant. Again, I just want to say thank you for being here with me today, and if you find that anything in today's episode resonates with you, or if you know someone else who might be interested in hearing this episode, please share it. As always, I appreciate any and all feedback, so if you would like to leave some feedback, please feel free to email me at confessionsofamilspouse@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook at Confessions of a Military Spouse, Instagram at Confessions of a Mil Spouse, or at publichousemedia.org. So first and foremost, I just want you guys to know that while I'm recording this episode, it is storming. So if you hear any of the rain or the thunder, I do apologize in advance. I have been waiting for the right time to record this episode all day long, and it just has not happened, but that's life, right? So today I'm going to be talking about the quote-unquote dependa stigma. If you're not a military spouse, or maybe a newer military spouse, or even if you are a veteran spouse that maybe has been living under a rock and are not sure what a dependa is, listen up because I am about to tell you. Hello. Happy, I don't even know what day it is anymore, of quarantine. Welcome and thank you for joining the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast during this still crazy time. I'm your host, Jenna Burt. I'm a military spouse of 10 years, a mom, and a registered and certified dental assistant. Again, I just want to say thank you for being here with me today. And if you find that anything in today's episode resonates with you, or if you know someone else who might be interested in hearing this episode, which I think you will, please share it. And as you guys know, I love and appreciate all feedback. So if you'd like to leave me some feedback, please feel free to email me at confessionsofamilspouse@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook at Confessions of a Military Spouse, Instagram at Confessions of a Mil Spouse, or at publichousemedia.org. So today I am super excited because we all know that subscription boxes are all the rave right now. And thanks to this wonderful subscription box that I have found, military spouses are no exception to that. So I'm super excited to have Kristen, who is the owner of Milso Box, with us today. So without further ado, welcome and thank you for being here with us today, Kristen.
Hi, yes, thank you for having me.
So I actually found Kristen through my wonderful neighbor, like I find most of my people. And I was super excited to find her because, like I said, we all know that subscription boxes are all the rave right now. There are literally so many on the market. And I'm super excited to have found one that is specifically geared towards military spouses. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And Kristen, I want to know, your background, what got you into this, and give us, tell us just a little bit about the box.
Okay, well, I am a veteran myself, and so I actually kind of just didn't really do very much with military spouses, to be honest. I had a career and was focused on that, and then I went to an Amplify event, and so I don't know if any of you have gone to an Amplify event, but if not, I highly suggest it. It's amazing. And it's through Hiring Our Heroes. And small plug, I guess. And it is a free event for spouses, and it gives you tons of tools to use in the career force, education, things like that. So I went to this event, and it was like, I don't know, like it took me to church, girl. Like I was like, woo, yeah, like it amped me up for everything. And so I was like, man, I need to do something in the spouse space, and this would be amazing. And so then I joined our local military spouse professional network, and met some people through there. And then all of a sudden I came across this post for Milso Box, and the owner was going to move on to other things, and she was looking for someone to be part of the next chapter. And I was like, man, that's totally me. I love giving gifts to people. How fun to do that on like a monthly basis. So this research, interviewed, there was a process because there were quite a few people interested. And then she chose me to continue on with it. And then my first box was in December, which was Santa Baby, and had some super cute stuff in that box. And I'm excited about the May box. And the June box has tons and tons of stuff in it. So that's a good one too. And just being able to connect with, other military spouses brings some level of support and comfort, which gets delivered to your doorstep, which is fun. And then
especially right now.
Yeah. And then getting to work with other spouses and veterans to feature their products in the boxes is fun. So the whole thing is fun, and it's kind of a family business because I get my husband to tape up the boxes. So if you've noticed them and they're really, really well, that's my husband. He may have missed his calling as a professional box taper.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's a business. So it's kind of like that nice saying of like, if you find something you love to do, then you never end up working a day in your life. And that's what I find is with Milso Box, and each box has so much of my heart in it, and so I just hope that that's felt when those boxes are received, and that people really do enjoy them.
Well, I'm super excited about it. I love that it is based towards military spouses and those in the military community. And I also love that you're a veteran yourself and that you feature military spouses in your boxes. One of the things when I started my podcast was that I really wanted to empower and uplift and just show love to other military spouses that are trying to do things in this military world. And I've had a lot of awesome spouses on here that have, businesses that they run. And when I look for people to put on my podcast, I look basically for what they stand for. And, I love the message behind your box. And like I said, subscription boxes right now are all the rave. So I think it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I really do appreciate being on your podcast. And it's fun because, well, one, I was able to kind of take over someone else's baby. And so I didn't have to really come up with the idea myself. But I love reviving businesses. It's, I don't know, like if I could be someone who literally just jumped in the trenches for startup companies over and over and over again, that's totally what I would do. And I have my MBA, and so I love helping find ways to make businesses succeed. And so this for me was like, heck yeah, because the previous owner had taken monthly boxes and paused them for a bit because she was gonna venture onto something else called Gifting with Valor. And so it was essentially like, I don't know, applying like jumper cables to the company to get it restarted. And that's my spiel in the background. So
Hey,
sorry.
it's okay. We love kids too.
I don't know if you love that. That sounds like a pterodactyl. So, so yeah, it's been fun. There's been a lot of lessons. But I've had some really great people reach out to me too. Oh my gosh, girl. Um, so I've had some really great people reach out to me. Someone named Leslie Watts, who runs the United States, and she's a blogger and loves connecting people, and so she's connected me with some vendors. Just on Instagram alone, I like to use hashtag veteran owned and operated, and that's kind of how I find some of my businesses that I work with. And it's just been really fun plugging into the community and actually finding out how wonderful the spouse community is. I guess being a veteran, and honestly, I just listened to your Dependa podcast this morning. So it made me laugh because that was totally my mentality. I was like, I don't want to get plugged into that.
Right?
No, that's not me, and my husband jokes with me. He's like, oh, you totally married me for my TRICARE. And I was like, well, you had no TRICARE, but it, we knew each other 8 years before we started dating. So
wow.
I feel like I have to put that plug in there because I don't want to be labeled a dependent. But
right? Yep. You weren't there just for the TRICARE and BAH. Let's be honest.
Yeah, BAH, whoop. And
which is so wonderful.
Yes, they are wonderful benefits, but I mean, I don't know, the whole dependent stigma really is very funny to me. But that's why I was like avoiding it, because I was like, no thanks.
Right? I know.
And so then when I got plugged in and then met, some of the women, and then have started connecting with women in other branches, I was like, oh, awesome, So I've been connecting with like Rangers' wives, and they're at a whole nother level. Like, you talk about somebody who wants to rally for somebody and behind a cause, they've got like their own activation call list, and will get done for you. And so, and then, like Marine wives and Navy wives, and you don't normally think about Coast Guard, but Coast Guard wives, and all these things. And it's just been really great. It's been a very positive learning experience. And people are so genuine and want to give honest feedback. And it's funny because I'll get like a message on Instagram, and they're like, so, this one thing looked a little homemade. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Blah, blah. I was like, oh, girl, enough said. Already decided I'm not using that vendor again. Like, you're not hurting my feelings.
I just needed that reassurance. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I need to know this stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, short of telling me to F off, you're probably not going to hurt my feelings. So, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying the process, and, getting to meet people like you. And, although we're meeting virtually, I feel like if we lived in the same neighborhood, we totally would have drinks in person after this.
Absolutely. We could keep our 6 foot social distancing and still drink.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I feel like that would be fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want, because I obviously know because I've done my research, but for those of you that are maybe, or those of them that are maybe hearing about the Milso Box for the very first time right now, I want you to tell them a little bit about what it is.
Oh, okay. So Milso Box is a monthly subscription box, and each month has a theme. So this month's theme is county fair. So
which is so cute.
And everything inside the box is county fair related. And It is cute, but I feel bad because I've had people tell me, like, we just found out that our fair's canceled. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I had this planned out like 4 months ago, so don't hate me.
Right? Listen, I didn't know COVID-19 was going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, if I had a crystal ball.
Listen, I mean, I do feel for them in that matter, because we came from San Diego and we went to the San Diego County Fair every year, and we did old time photos, and we were looking for a fair in or around South Carolina to do the same thing, but now everything is pretty much being canceled. So I do feel for them, but you guys, the box is still so cute. Anyway.
Yeah. And it's so it has things that are fair related. But I mean, it's fine. It's not like, it'll just make you reminisce about past fairs. And then our June box is really awesome. I'm so excited about it. I have not told the theme yet, but I'll tell it right now. So it's called
sneak peek. I like that.
Yeah, it's called Love Thyself. And it has 9 things in this box, y'all. 9. Like, that's insane. Typically, we do 4 to 6 and have 9 things in this box. I'm so excited. So super cute stuff. 9 things in that box. There's 7 in the May box. And so it's a monthly subscription box. You can buy it just once and send it as a gift, or you can subscribe monthly, or you can do it in like a 3-month subscription or 6-month. And of course, when you do like 3 or 6, the price per month goes down. And then we have our surprise box, which is fun. So if you want to just send a gift to someone else and you don't want to necessarily do the themes, you can do our surprise box, which is less than the subscription box itself. And it's fun because you just don't know what you're going to get in it. And then we do have branch specific items. So when you sign up, you say which branch you're affiliated with, and then t-shirt size. And if there is a branch specific item in that box, then you will get it for that one. In our March box, we had really cute branch specific charm bracelets. So, that's fun, but that was also a learning curve, like sitting there writing names and like branch affiliations on each the inside and then the outside of each box to make sure I had it right. I still messed up one. But it's funny because the outside of the box said the right branch, but the inside wasn't. And not to throw my mom under the bus, but she was helping me.
But I'm gonna throw her under the bus.
Yeah, just slightly. And it was cute because she was like, I'm going to mess one of these up. And I was like, worst case, I send another bracelet out. It's totally fine. Thanks for your help.
Right. Absolutely.
It happened. Yeah. So, of course, I had to text her. I was like, gee, thanks. You cost me a bracelet. And
you totally jinxed it, Mom.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the subscriber was really sweet about it. And I was like, well, if you know anyone who's Army, just, go ahead and give them a bracelet. They're super cute. So, and I have some left over, Jenna. So you let me know what branch affiliation and I'll send it to you.
Well, perfect. Thank you. Can we go back to the surprise box for a minute? Because that makes me super excited. I love surprise stuff, especially like if I'm sending it to someone else, not to know what's in there for me is just so fun.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of a subscription box doing something like that as a surprise box.
Well, it's so basically what we have is every month I order, extra body care and skincare and different items, and then I have some that don't ever go into the subscription boxes and they'll only go into like the surprise box. So it's fun because you don't know what's in there. You just know that there's going to be some variation of, somewhere between 4 to 8 items in a box that will show up. And I've actually gotten really good feedback on the surprise boxes. So that's good. And it kind of depends on my mood too. So I'm like, like, what am I listening to right now? So God help you if I'm listening to some 90s pop, then you just ordered a surprise box. You don't know what's going to happen.
Lisa
Could be
Frank,
Britney.
I mean,
It could be Britney inspired.
I love that though, because that kind of gives them an insight as to who you are and maybe like what's going on in your life and where you're, if you're in a certain season in your life. And I think that's super cool because I know obviously you're designing it for other people, but it gives you the freedom to kind of show them a little insight into your life as well.
Yeah, and recently I had someone, she was like, well, I am former Coast Guard and my significant other is Army. She's like, so I want to show some support for me being a veteran, but I also want to support them. Like, how do I do that? And I was like, girl, I got you. I was like, I'll put something Coast Guard in there that is not spouse related, that you can have your Coast Guard pride, and I'll put something in there that's Army related so you can show Army pride for your spouse. And she was like, oh, really? And then, she was like, that sounds great. Thanks so much. So there's always room to play with it. So, it's, if you have a special request and you're like, I would really like to do a surprise box. I am really digging 80s on Pandora right now. What do we got? I'll find some fun stuff to put in a box that could be 80s theme. You never know. So,
I love that.
Yeah, so that's the fun of it too. And it's nice. Like, yeah, the surprise box can be really flexible, and the subscription is fun because it's themed. And our one in April was Hey There Cupcake, and people enjoyed that because it had like cupcake shaped sugar cookies and birthday cake fudge, which was good but super super rich, so you had to eat that sucker over like 5 days.
Whereas me, I'm like, I just had this conversation with somebody else this morning about macarons, and she was like, they're just too sweet for me. And I'm like, listen, I don't think I've ever said anything is too sweet in my life.
Well, if I had that fudge left, I'd send it to you. I'd be like, challenge accepted.
And then we would have to come back and do a podcast of me eating it so I could give in real time feedback.
So yeah, and there's so it's a lot of fun, and I would love to grow it, and my ultimate dream would be to grow it and then to bring on other military spouses that could, we'd work together as a team, and they could take it with them wherever they go. So it's not, you don't have to worry about a break in a career,
Right.
So that would be the dream, would be to grow it and then be able to bring on other spouses and have like a really great team.
I love that. Absolutely love that. And I think it's amazing that you're, obviously thinking long term and, what you want the future of this to be. And I feel like a lot of people, with a subscription box would be happy with it just being a subscription box and, getting so many orders each month and just kind of keeping that consistency. So I love that you're looking into the future and you're thinking about growth and what you want it to be down the road.
Yeah, I have you ever watched the movie The Intern with Anne Hathaway?
I think I have, actually. I think that's like one movie that somebody has asked me if I've seen that I can finally say yes.
Yay! I'm like, all right, yeah, that's where I see it going. Like, some point it's, and she's still, even though this has grown and her business has grown exponentially, she still is in like checking in on how things are packaged, and she'll have people order boxes and send them to her so she can see how they're how they arrive and things like that.
Yes.
And so that's what I see. I see being involved, but then having a really great team of people with me that all care about it and rally behind what Milso Box is and become a part of it. And I'm looking, hopefully, 6 months to a year from now can start the nonprofit part, which would be, I'll tell you, it's Milso Mini. And my thought is that part of each Milso box that's purchased would go towards the nonprofit. And then kids whose parents are deployed would get boxes that help them do activities with their parent who's deployed and help them understand deployment.
Oh my gosh.
So
That
that's,
is absolutely something that I would do for my kid if my spouse was deployed.
yeah, and the kids would get them for free. So that's
Oh
the,
my gosh.
you would just have to sign up for it. So that's the hope and the dream is to be able to do a 501c here within the next 6 months to a year, and be able to do that because um, we do think about the families and the kids and the spouses that get left behind, but it's hard. Like kids don't have activities to really
Yes.
wrap their heads around what's going on. So
Yep, absolutely. I think, oh, that just gave me chills. I think that's amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we will definitely do, like in 9 months, we'll come back and do another episode to see where you're at with that. Because I'm going to
no
continue to follow
pressure,
this.
no pressure.
Right. No pressure at all. Nope. Uh, so I know you hit a little bit about it, but I want to talk about the types of items that are in each box because it's not the same item each month, correct?
Correct. So there's like home decor. There's candles. I guess that would go under home decor. Candles, jewelry, fun little gadgets, treats, skincare. There's hair care products sometimes. Little drop. We've got books in upcoming boxes, which is super fun. Bags and yeah, lots of fun stuff. Let's see. Do you want me to just tell you what was in like last month's box?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Hey There Cupcake box, there was tea. There were these really cute makeup bags by Eventful AF. And then there was a crackling cupcake candle. So good, from Heritage Candle. Then there was the birthday cake fudge, the cupcake shaped sugar cookie. There was a journal. There was a free month of a journaling app, which is super fun, to give you journaling prompts. And there was a Hey There Cupcake lip gloss. So it's, yeah, lots of fun stuff in the boxes.
That is amazing. Like all of that sounds so good.
Each box has a handwritten note in it from me. And it's whatever's going on, like last month's box. Each box had a note, and I was talking about what's going on in the world right now and like hang in there. And so that's super important to me. And if I ever get to a point where I can't do handwritten notes in each box, then I'm going to probably have to enlist some spouses to help me write some handwritten notes and put them in boxes because I just think that that's a really important part of it, even though it's so little. So
yeah, I agree completely. I love handwritten notes, especially if I'm like getting mail, just to see that, someone took the time to, even if everybody that got the same thing that I did got the same exact note, it's still handwritten. To me, that's like a personal touch that you said has kind of been lost in, I don't know, transition or whatever, but it's kind of been lost, and I still think it goes a really long way.
Yeah, agreed. So
if other spouses wanted to have their items featured in one of your boxes, what would they need to do?
So just reach out to me at contact at milsobox.com and just shoot me an email, and we can kind of talk about what it is that you do. And then I typically have my themes planned out like 6 to 8 months at a time. So then we can kind of see where that would fit in. and go for that. Because the worst thing for me, I feel like, is if I reached out to someone else and like, yeah, I want to work with you, and then you never hear from them again. So I like to give like, okay, well, here's the next 8 months, and so your product could fit within this box, or this box. What do you think, right? Because it allows them to be part of the process. So like even your neighbor who is in our box, I reached out to her and I said, this is the theme. I'd love to include your product, and what do you think? And she shot back to me with flavors and was like, this is what I think, da, 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 da. And I was like, great. So it's more of a process versus me just saying, this is what I want from you.
Right.
So I like that it's more of a collaboration.
Yeah, I like that too. And I think people, will reciprocate that better, and they like to have the option too to choose. You're not just like, okay, well, I have openings available for July box. It needs to fit this theme, and that's it.
Yeah. And I mean, now if someone says to me, I make emoji pillows, I'm like, well, it's probably like, could you make a different type of pillow and maybe it would fit in this box, So there's some back and forth, and I mean, obviously, if you make a product that wouldn't fit in the box or something, I'll try to work with you as best as I can. So, and it's a business that you own too, right? So it's like not, if you're doing like an MLM, I can't really feature like Mary Kay in the box.
Right.
It doesn't fit within the parameters, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Which obviously makes sense because you want to feature homemade things, which I love. Not that I'm against MLMs. I did a whole podcast episode on it. I've been part of MLMs. I don't have any issue against them, so don't come after me, people. But, the drive behind your box is homemade stuff, which I think is great.
Yeah, well, and it's about veteran or military spouse owned businesses and created products, right? So we also do like American-based companies. So if it's
which is super important right now.
Yeah, and so if it's an MLM, not that there's anything wrong with that, it just, because it's a large corporation and it's, it just doesn't necessarily fit within those parameters. But if you make bath bombs or scrubs, or you are super amazing with a Cricut and you make these amazing tumblers, all that kind of stuff would fit. So
I love it. I love it so much. So if somebody wanted to purchase a box, subscribe for a box, send a surprise box, which y'all, I'll, can give you my address if y'all want to send me a surprise box. If somebody wanted to purchase one of your boxes, where would they need to go? What would they need to do? Just tell them a little bit.
Yeah, you can go right to our website, which will like direct you to where you need to go, and that's just milsobox.com. And then you can do the one-time purchases, which would be, just that current theme box or the surprise box, or you can do the monthly 3-month or 6-month. And if every month we do give away a box to someone whose spouse is deployed. So if your spouse is deployed, or someone whose spouse is deployed, please reach out to me and I will do my best to get them in the rotation, because I think that's super important too. So every month we give away one box to a spouse who needs it, or if you just know someone who's struggling, and you think that they could use a box, reach out. We have, in this community, we have to take care of one another. So we'll do our best to figure out how we can get a box to that person.
That is amazing. That just melts my heart and it gives me all the good feels, because as a military spouse, it is hard when our spouses are deployed, but especially right now, people are struggling. And I mean, I just made a post on Facebook this morning, myself included. Because my husband is obviously essential, we work out together in the morning. And so I still have to get up at 4 a.m. if I want to work out with him. And that's about the only motivation I have, because this whole virus thing is just really messing with me, and I know it's messing with a lot of other people. So to give back to those people that are having such a hard time right now, or whose, God forbid, spouse is deployed on top of this, like that's just amazing.
Yeah, well, there's I don't know. I just feel like if we take care of one another, it'll all be okay. So
Yes, yes, it will. And I will link the website for anybody who wants to purchase a box. I will link it in the description of the podcast. And Kristen, I just want to thank you for being here with me today and talking about all of the amazing things that come along with Milso Box. And like I said, thank you for being here with me today and doing this interview. I'm super pumped about this, and I know our listeners are going to be too, because it's an amazing, amazing thing. Oh, one question, sorry,
yeah.
squirrel, that I do have. If, let's say somebody signs up for the 3-month subscription box and they wanted to, they got their first 2 months, but they wanted to skip their 3rd month and push it out a month. Is that something that they can do?
That would be something I'd have to control in-house and just email me. I would say that if you have a question, email me and we'll figure out how we can make it work for you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just know sometimes people sign up for things and then, something happens and they decide they want to skip a box, or maybe, they're going to be out of town and they need to skip it, or whatever the situation is. So I figured I'd ask. That way they know.
Yeah, we can always kind of, especially if I have enough notice, because then I can adjust some of the inventory.
Right.
So just let me know.
Another great thing about owning your own business.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. If there's anything else that you want listeners to know, please go ahead and tell them now.
No, I think that's it. Thank you for listening, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I guess the only thing I would say is I know things are tough right now. Hang in there, and it will be okay, and we will come out on the other end of this. Oh, and I'm sewing masks for free. So if you need a mask, reach out to me and I will
get your girl up.
Yeah, I will figure out a way to get those to you too. So
that's amazing. Thank you so much for everything. Like, your heart is just so big and I love it so much. People like you are my people.
Well, we'll have to do like a Zoom happy hour or something.
Yes. We can get Shannon in on it too. So then
there we go. We have faces. Yes.
Yes. A nice little wine Zoom party. I love it. I love it so much. Well, thank you to all of our listeners being here with us today. And like I said, I will link the website in the description box so you guys can go subscribe to your Milso Box. Thanks again, Kristen.
All right. Thanks, Jenna. Bye.